Jamar.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Jamar.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. There's so many stories of the lives of the people here, and how they moved and navigated. There's one story about a man named Billy that I find very fascinating, especially on a day like today of independence. Billy was really determined to have independence and the life he wanted on his own terms, I should say. He was the son of Hannah, she was not only the cook here, she also nursed many of the people here. She took care of this property in quite an enormous way. But one story about Billy, the enslaved people here usually were given Sunday as a day of rest from their tiring week of working. They would either go to religious service, worship, church. They would have time with their communities, with their families. And Billy was taking advantage of his Sunday off. Now, this particular week, there had been some rain. So there was an overseer here by the last name of Clark, who was attempting to force Billy and trying to find other enslaved people to work on the day that was their guaranteed day to be off. Billy was not interested in working on his day off because that was his day of rest. And this overseer was very forceful to say yes. Now, what words transpired, of course, we don't know because we weren't there and they weren't documented. But what was documented, he and Billy got into an altercation involving rocks, and Billy literally fought his way to say, I'm not working, I'm not doing this. And he and the overseer had quite a scuffle, and it ultimately resulted in Billy biting the overseer's thumb to protect himself, and then Billy went off. Now, I say that story. There is it's when we hear something about, oh my gosh, someone got their thumb bitten. It's something, but I think of it to know that he was a young man. He might have been 14 or 15 at the time, but he had a sense and a compass of what was right. Even in the midst of him being in bondage and him being an enslaved person, that I should not be working, and I should not have to abide to you forcing me to do something else that is not within my control. I'm not going to do it. And so Billy is someone who took a stand, and he moved forward, and he had other moments of resistance, moments of determination for himself to say, I might be living here, I might be considered to be property by law here, but I am going to have some semblance of self for me while I reside here on this property. So that's quite a story that I'm always fond of. It makes me think, I'm like, what was really going on? And he also had the courage and the bravery, because at that time, doing something like that, he didn't know what the repercussions were going to be, but he did.
That's a great story.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy to share.
So you are a storyteller.
Yeah, I do. I learn the history. I've been evaluating, assessing, researching the lives of enslaved and free Black people during this time period for years, and I often find my offering is to know the history and to share it back with you and share it back with people, to just really say, people are people, right? They've been, the centuries change, the circumstances change, but we know humans have been humans for a very long time, and they'll continue to be long before us. And so my hope is to really make sure that their names are remembered, and to put into context that it is wonderful that we celebrate, we commemorate this, a great, the history of the nation that we're living in, and also acknowledge what were the realities of all the people here, and oftentimes the people who had to go to have their histories. Sometimes people try to silence them. Their stories aren't necessarily as broadcasted or platformed in the same way. And that's important to know, because in order for us to have moments to prepare to hear the Declaration of Independence, you needed people like the John Hemmings, who was in this space building the woodwork here. You needed Hannah, who was literally providing the food and maintaining this. You needed people like Billy, who were going to let you know, no, what you're doing does not work for me, and it's not acceptable. So that's why I'm here, and I love to share their stories.
Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure meeting
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you as well. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.